So I think we can all pretty much agree that Kevin Smith's career is going to take a nosedive, that after Masters of the Universe Revelations, Kevin Smith's career is going to go downhill. There's really no questioning it. If we just look at simply what's happened in the past, if we look at simply how the fans have been reacting to things like that have happened recently, you think about the Gina Carano situation. I really thought that whenever Gina Carano was fired, people would be mad for maybe a month, maybe two max, but they were really mad. They still are really mad. And it's not just the fans, it's also her peers. Her peers are coming out and speaking out in favor of her. They're talking about how wrong it was that she got fired, not to mention the Star Wars YouTube channel. Whenever they post High Republic stuff, they're still getting ratioed all the time. People are still calling for Kathleen Kennedy to be fired. And that had kind of died down for a bit. You know, whenever she got rehired, or I guess re-signed the first time after people were calling for her to be fired, people kind of just stopped calling for her to be fired. Everyone just kind of accepted the fact that she wasn't going to be fired. But whenever Gina Carano got fired, then they started calling for Kathleen Kennedy's head once again. They started calling for Kathleen Kennedy to be fired from Lucasfilm, or at least get out of Star Wars once again, because it had to go through her. Now, I don't know if it was her decision. I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy was the one that brought up the fact that Gina Carano should be fired for what she's been doing, but it had to go through her. There's no way that someone could get fired off of a show like The Mandalorian without Kathleen Kennedy having something to do with it. But this video is about Kevin Smith's career. Now, anytime a show gets an audience score that's this bad, it's not going to be good for someone's career. The critic score doesn't matter. There's so little critics now. People put so little stake in what the critics say now. I would even say that Hollywood people who are working in Hollywood, put so little stake in what the critics say, because like I said, there's so little critics, and it's so obvious that they have a bias towards giving stuff in Hollywood good scores. Like it's very rare that certain critics will give things bad scores. And they know this. Everyone in Hollywood knows this. The big studios know this. And also, if there's, let's just say, 200 critics giving this score, which is probably on the high end, that's probably more like what a big movie like an Avengers movie would get. 200 critics giving this 94% right here. That's 200 people who have an extreme bias to give these things good scores. They're not going to make you money at the box office, because they're probably seeing the movie early for free anyway, for one. But even that 200 people, if they're paying, it doesn't matter. There's so many more people in the general audience that gave this show, it's really a 28 to 27%. They froze it and bumped it up 10%, but let's just say 39% for the sake of this video, for the sake of, simplicity. 39%. There's a lot more people out there that are giving this show a bad review than a good review, and it's more of the money-making people, the people who are going to make these studios money, who are making these movies, making these TV shows, that they're getting the 39% from. So that's what these studios really care about. That's what these people like Kevin Smith really care about. As much as he says that they were certified fresh, which they no longer are, as much as he was bragging about that, saying that the audience score doesn't matter, that we're just getting review bombed and stuff like that. It's not a review bomb for one, but I already talked about that in my past video. I'm not going to go too into depth on that one, but it's not a review bomb. People just simply didn't like the show. It is what it is. You have to be able to accept it. You made a bad show. You baited and switched your audience, and now people are mad. That's not a review bomb. That's simply you lied to the audience. And yeah, a lot of people probably didn't watch the entire show, because if you watch the first few episodes, you can pretty much infer that you got baited and switched, that you are not getting what you got. And that's not only going to hurt this show, it's not only going to hurt Masters of the Universe Revelations 39% Rotten Tomatoes score, that's also going to hurt Kevin Smith's career in general. And like I said, these fans, they're starting to hold grudges a lot longer than they used to, because in the past, like I said, when the Gina Carano situation happened, I thought they would be mad for a couple of months, ratio the Star Wars YouTube channel for a couple of months, and then move on. But it's still happening. It's still happening right now. People are calling for Kathleen Kennedy's head constantly. It's even more people really than it's ever been before wanting Kathleen Kennedy out of there, wanting to support Gina Carano, saying that Gina Carano should be rehired to Lucasfilm, should be rehired on The Mandalorian, saying that they want her own show to happen. They're still doing that every single day on the Star Wars YouTube channel. Go check for yourself. It's still happening every single day. Now, a big thing that Kevin Smith has done in the past is crowdfund his own movies. Now, this article is back from 2013, where Kevin Smith talks about his Kickstarters and crowdfunding his own movies, and why he didn't crowdfund Clerks 3. And this is because he has crowdfunded, I believe, 2 movies in the past. Now, today, like he says in this article right here, he doesn't really need to crowdfund anymore, because he has access to money, and he even says, even if I don't use my own money, I can always hit up some of my famous friends. So it's kind of generous of him. That's the old Kevin Smith that we used to know, the very generous, the very relatable person, the person that we all liked, the person that we watched his films because we liked Kevin Smith the person. He's gone now. He's been in Hollywood for too long. They've changed him. He's not that person anymore. But the reason why they're asking him these questions is because he has crowdfunded 2 films in the past. Now, if his career does take a nosedive, if his career does go back to downhill, back to where it was before when he had the crowdfunding, when he didn't have the money, when he didn't have the famous friends, he's not going to be able to crowdfund the stuff anymore, because all the fans that he crowdfunded from, all the fans that donated to his Kickstarters, all the fans that helped him make those movies that he crowdfunded, which I don't actually know the titles of, but I believe you can just do a quick Google search and find that out. But he crowdfunded 2 movies in the past. He messed over those fans with Masters of the Universe Revelations and then blamed it on them. He blamed it on the fans that gave him the money for those Kickstarters. He blamed it on the fans who allowed him to make those movies for the bad Rotten Tomato scores. He took no accountability for baiting and switching the fan base. He took none. He blamed it straight up on the fans. He said that the fans review bombed him, not taking any accountability, like I said. So he is using those fans as a scapegoat for his bad show. The fans that made him movies, the fans that made him the money to be able to make these movies. He's not going to be able to do that ever again. He's not going to be able to crowdfund any of these movies if he were to have to. And that just shows you how diehard of a fan base Kevin Smith used to have, that they really loved him so much. They liked his movies so much that they crowdfunded his movies for him so that he could make more. Those fans, a lot of those fans are gone, and the proof is in the pudding. The proof is right here. If you just look at his YouTube channel, you can see all these percentages are the like to dislike ratios on these videos. 33%, 13%, 18%. They're all bad, dude. They are all bad. And this is the same thing as the Gina Carano situation. It's the same thing. These people are not going to forget about this. They're just not. That's not how this works anymore. 17%, 21%. And, you know, he didn't post too many videos in that time period, so it did kind of die down now, just like everything does. But I guarantee you, if he ever were to talk about Masters of the Universe Revelations again in one of these video titles, it would get ratioed the same way. And I guarantee you, whenever part 2 comes out, whenever that's supposed to be, I have no idea when it's going to be. I believe it's supposed to be sometime this year, so maybe soon, in the next couple of months. I guarantee you, whenever that comes out, all these ratios are going to come back. All these angry fans are going to come back. Same thing with Clerks. Whenever the new Clerks movie comes out, all these angry fans are going to come back. All these ratios are going to come back. And you might even get review bomb now. Because you did that, because you blamed it on the fans for getting that negative Rotten Tomato score, for getting that bad Rotten Tomato score, because you blamed it on review bombing, you blamed it on the fans for not being woke enough. When they couldn't enjoy your movie, or they couldn't enjoy Masters of the Universe Revelations because, you know, they were just too racist, and, you know, all those other buzzwords that they always use that I don't want to say in the video, but all those other buzzwords that they always use. You blame it on that. Now you might actually get review bomb. Now you might actually get people boycotting your box office. Now you're going to actually have a career that's a failure. Your career is going to go downhill now because you did that to your fan base. Because you not only baited and switched everyone with Masters of the Universe Revelations, but you also blamed it on the fans whenever your show failed. You also turned on all the fans who not only have supported you through your whole career, through your entire career, but they also gave you the money to make some of your movies. You turned on those fans and you blamed your failures on them. But let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. What do you think about Kevin Smith's career going forward? Do you think that he'll be able to come back from this, or do you think that his whole career is ruined now? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you did enjoy this video though, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, links to that in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next one.